Good afternoon from here in snowy New York State today. Here with more on human rights abuses in the United States. Today, I wanted to share with you why I spoke to the Russians about U.S. hypocrisy in dealing with human rights. Years ago, I was lured to Texas and hit with the same type of brutal human rights abuses by psychiatrists and other doctors that I've dedicated much of my career to fighting. This has left many of my professional, financial, and personal interests in disarray ever since then. U.S. agents who have been badgering me to death with neurotech surveillance ever since then, of the nature Snowden leaked to the press before he moved to Russia, have implied the nation has been retaliating against me for taking up the issue of human rights abuses in my own country with the Russians to make waves. Relations between Washington, D.C. and Moscow have been strained for a long time, leading up to the present very dangerous situation in dealing with the Ukraine war. Frankly, I still do not agree with the backlash against me and associated clear requests by the U.S. feds that the nation get even with me by completely ignoring my requests for more legal and financial assistance to fight back against the problems this has caused me. My true side of the story has been blurred by the same type of distortions of the facts that led to my being erroneously diagnosed with serious mental illnesses to begin with. Of course, I've suffered from anxiety and depression issues from all of this, but obviously never schizophrenia or bipolar illness. When I lash back at the government that these destructive labels are absurd, particularly for a legally independently licensed New York State physician with a clean criminal record, their response has been, we can still get away with causing you grief with blacklist for professional and other vital financial contracts. Well, this is pathetic because my motives in trying to make waves with the Russians was to instigate positive changes, not more negative issues. I'm not anti-Russian. I know history well, and I think it's naive to think we would have survived the Nazis without the sacrifices the Russians made. And I think a nuclear war with Russia will lead to the destruction of the entire planet Earth with a new generation of hypersonic nuclear missiles. I think Russia had legitimate grounds for concern in dealing with Ukraine, and Kiev should have been a lot more careful and sensitive in dealing with these issues. And I'd offered to look into working in Russia as a general physician, not in espionage or any other hostile activities. If I had lived in Russia now, even though I'm terribly disturbed about human rights abuses in the USA, I would nevertheless still be advising my Russian friends a war with the USA and NATO isn't a good idea in the best interest of us all. And so what I said to Russian agents who, out of curiosity, did take the time to speak with me when I was visiting China, Vietnam, Canada, and Thailand earlier in life was that I thought it was outrageous that the American psychiatrists are doing what they allege the Russian psychiatrists were doing during the Cold War era, which was locking political dissidents up in mental hospitals with erroneous diagnoses of schizophrenia and bipolar disorder and using psychotropic drugs on them. What did I actually have in mind bringing this up with the Russians? Frankly, I wasn't completely certain what direction this all could lead. I wanted to brainstorm with the Russians to come up with some affirmative answers to this problem since I was basically being ignored in my own country in retaliation for my outspoken criticisms of the psychiatric system in the country. The bottom line is all this is still going on, and even if I had never spoken with the Russians about this, they're still free to tune into my positions online in an internet era. During these heated times, I suppose Putin, Medvedev, and Lavrov may still raise the issue of why does the USA make international heroes out of Russian dissidents while pushing the American dissident, Dr. Harold Mandel, to the fringes of human existence. Well, that's all for now. I hope your day's going well. And as usual, check out my website at drharoldmandel.org. And please subscribe to this channel. I'll be back with you again soon. Bye.